Obviously, extremely disappointed. Obviously, extremely disappointed. Yum Center was electric. We asked people to come out. They came out big. It was as elite of a college basketball atmosphere as you're going to find anywhere. And the fact of the matter is they were the better team tonight. Punched us in the mouth from the very beginning. The only way to describe it is they beat us in almost every single facet of the game. My message to the players after the game was, I told them the one thing that they don't have to worry about is us being good. The one thing they don't have to worry about is us being good. We're going to become a good team. I believe that deep down in my soul with every single fiber of my being. We got a long way to go. It's a heck of a test. Obviously, you got to credit Coach Barnes and his staff and his players. Like I said, we take pride in rebounding, effort, deflections, those type things, and got our butt kicked on the glass. I don't know what it was exactly, but it was like plus 15, I think it was, on the glass. I felt like their physicality on the defensive end really disrupted our rhythm. We're a rhythm offensive team. I thought they took us out of what we wanted to do, and it but it turned into too much one-on-one, too much dribbling, which is 100% not how we play on the offensive end. It's the first time this team has gotten punched in the mouth and faced adversity. Since June 5th, when I stood up here at my press conference and we signed this team, they've had a lot of attaboys and a lot of pats on the back and a lot of high fives. I mean what I've said over the last 8 months or whatever it is, 5 months since this team's been together. They've been phenomenal. It's a really, really good group. And I believe with everything I got that this team's going to end up being really good. But for the first time, get hit in the mouth and they're going to face adversity. And my challenge to them in the locker room was not the X's and O's that we have to clean up, because there's a lot of them. Like I said, almost every single facet of the game, I thought they were better than us today. But that's for tomorrow. That's for tonight at 2 a.m. when I'm watching tape and I'm breaking down and cleaning up the X and O's and ball screen execution on both ends of the floor, or defensive ball screen, whatever it is. But that meeting in there was about walking out and having our circle tighter than ever. Walking out of that room and having a resolve about them, as they go back to their dorms and like all kids do, and they check their social media, all the people that have been telling them how good they are, just crushing them, because that's how it is. That's the world. I just told them, don't blink. Don't blink. Look to the guy to the right of you, look to the guy next to you, love him more than ever. Don't blame anybody else. Don't complain about anything else. Don't get defensive. Just know that we got to go back to work on Monday and get better, and we will. That's it.
Questions here?
There's, I guess, an acclimation process or something, getting used to that. Just the crowd, atmosphere, physicality of Tennessee. Was there any point, maybe late first half, or any point in the game where you felt like your guys kind of started to kind of kick in a little bit and get a little bit more with the challenge that was being thrown?
I think they did. They punched us in the mouth. We were on our heels at the beginning of the game, and obviously the crowd was revved up like crazy, and they got off to a pretty significant lead at the beginning. But I thought our guys rallied. There were a couple times where it was getting close to 10 or single digits, and you could feel the crowd just wanted something and get a little bit of momentum, and we just couldn't get over the hump. They would make a play, they would make a big shot, they would get a big stop, and and then late in the game we called that timeout with, I don't know what it was, 4 or 5 minutes left. There was 2 or 3 possessions where it looked like the 5 guys that were on the floor had given up, right? I mean, no pun intended, but it looked like we waved the white flag, and we called a timeout, got after them, and they responded, went out, played hard, and and continued to compete right down to the very end. We're going to play the Tennessees moving forward. We're going to play, teams of that standard, and we're going to be ready for it next time. I can promise you that.
Coach, in terms of your half-court execution offensively, it really seemed like Tennessee's physicality at the point of attack kind of flustered some of the guys. What needs to happen to get better offensive execution?
Yeah.
It seemed like you guys couldn't get easy
Yeah, it
shots.
stunk. It stunk. And again, you have to give credit to Tennessee. They're a very, very sound defensive team. They're extremely physical and didn't allow us to get into a rhythm. Blew up dribble handoffs, were very aggressive on ball screens, just muddied up the game, and it forced us to play without the normal flow. I thought early on we were settling for just okay instead of trying to hunt great, as we say on the offensive end. We talk about playing on the attack, getting downhill, touching the paint, putting foul pressure on them. I felt like we were playing around the perimeter a little bit too much in the first half. So, I have to watch the tape, but you asked what we need to improve on the offensive end. I would answer you, everything. Everything. Our set play execution was porous. Our flow, our kind of play after the play wasn't good enough. Our special teams execution on baseline out of bounds was subpar. I mean, I could go on and on. The one thing I will never, ever, ever do as a head coach is ever blame the players, right? I start with me first and foremost. Could have done a better job of getting our guys ready and preparing them and putting them in better positions. But we got a group of guys that are going to come back to practice on Monday, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, leaning forward, and nothing will change in terms of the energy at practice, in terms of our attention to detail and striving for excellence. But they exposed some things. There's no question about that. They exposed some things today. And what's going to allow this team to take the next step is to learn from the things, right, that they exposed and then make sure that they don't happen again. That's my job. And we have a veteran group with a lot of leadership that'll make sure that they have that same mentality as well.
Out of all the things that you thought they got exposed today on defense, and you guys forced 20 turnovers, but they still shot close to 55% from the field. Just what on that end kind of stood out to you? Just
Yeah.
in terms of them just still getting their shots.
Yeah, just like the question he just asked on the offensive end,
Yeah.
on the defensive end, everything. I'm going to start with it. Guard the ball, high hand closeouts, ball screen execution, or transition defense, not allowing second shots, hitting, attacking the ball. I mean, again, I have to watch the tape, but the answer is everything. And it'll be addressed and we'll be better because of this. Look, it stinks and it hurts, but if you attack it the right way, it becomes a positive down the road. Like my mentor used to say, there's this sound, thump, 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 and that's, there's a bandwagon, right? And then there's not that we have bandwagon fans. I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form, but like what happened today will be a positive for Louisville basketball moving forward. I would ask our fan base, I would ask our fans, I would ask our donors, just like I told our guys in that locker room, don't blink. Don't blink, right? This team, and I believe it, again, I'll say this with everything I got, is going to be really, really good. And if our guys do that, they put blinders on, they go back to work, they attack the next thing with excellence, the results are going to come, and then we'll have that same energy that we had in here today. I told them there's a good chance that the next game won't have that many people at the game, but they're going to come back. They're going to be there again. So, again, I always praise our opponents. Tennessee was the better team, and we're going to learn from it.
How beneficial was it playing a game like this early as opposed to, maybe a
Yeah.
tough kind of schedule, just knowing where you are?
As I sit here looking at you guys and looking at a box score where we just got our stinking butts kicked and it hurts like crazy, there's no question we needed that today. Josh, we're walking in, he's talking about, he's like, man, that's a tough second game. Like, I know I pushed you for that. I said, thank you. Thank you. That's exactly what this team needed. Because the things that ailed us today were exposed today by Tennessee, and now we get a chance to fix it. When you're playing the team in the Bahamas, or whether you're playing our 2 exhibition games, or you're playing, in Moorhead's a new team with a new coach and all those things, we didn't get exposed the way we did today. And I will embrace this butt kicking. I've had my butt kicked before, and I'll probably have my butt kicked again. We've done a little butt kicking as well. But, the response and what you learn from getting your tail kicked is the mark of a really, really good team. And I believe in those guys in that locker room. The normal feel or tendency or the human nature in me wanted to go in and just pound my fist, and throw my notebook down and lose it. That's not it. Walking out of that room, it's about the resolve of our 25 strong. And then Monday at practice, we're going to have a phenomenal stinking practice. And we're going to get better because of it.
Pat, when you have a whole new roster and new environment, don't you have to, is it, when you face adversity for the first time, you learn probably a lot about your team, and don't you kind of have to at some point go through something like this?
100%. That's exactly right. Adversity's a great educator. Adversity's a great teacher. But if you don't look at it that way, and you feel sorry for yourself, and you put your tail between your legs, and you look down when you walk into the student center, you walk into the grocery store, like you're not approaching it the right way. Unbelievable adversity for our team, and it's great, and we're going to learn from it.
Ken Taylor, last one.
Pat, even with all the adversity, all the things that went against you, you still, you got within 9 when Rain hits that 3. Building's got a bunch of energy, and then Ziegler hits the 3. Kind of the effect he had on the game as a point guard. I'm sure you can appreciate all that. I know he had 11 turnovers, but he did so much for them and hit some huge shots.
Yeah. I appreciate the beginning of that question, because you sounded like my mom, who's going to try to make me feel good when I walk out of this press conference. So you blew some sunshine at me there at the beginning. But number 5 is a phenomenal stinking player. He was dominant today. He's the preseason defensive player of the year in the SEC for a reason. He wreaks havoc. I believe in our guys. I believe in our guards. I know what they're capable of. Those guys feel terrible right now. And they're better than how they played today. I'm better than how I coached today. But you give that kid credit. You tip your cap to him. In big moments when we had a little bit of momentum and the Yums start rocking, he answered. I mean, even if it was a little bit of a prayer shot, like at the end of the shot clock, and it's what big-time players do. They step up and make big-time plays in big-time moments, and that's what that cat did. So I have a lot of respect for him, and there's probably a really good chance that we'll see these guys again down the road, and next time we'll be better.
All right, thank you.